Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I will tell you about our field study about optical sensor, especially for mouse. Field study is for measurement and instrumentation. Our lecture is Nurul Rain Amir bin Ahmad. Next. First, I will show you our group member. The first one is Saya Dr. Amzah bin Azlan. Second is me, Adi bin Sobri. The third one is Muhammad Firdaus bin Muhammad Juzmi. And the last one is Muhammad Faiz bin Ahmad Mjii. Next. Abstract. Okay. This research is mainly about sensor application. From the research, the basic principle of sensor application measurement and instrumentation technique and system will be explained. Many modern sensors are in fact sensor system incorporating some form of signal processing. Next. This is our introduction. Our research objective is to understand the whole process of signal conditioning and data acquisition in the application of the sensor. The second objective is to identify the type of sensor and its characteristic, understand the principle of operation and function of several transducers, their advantage and limitation as well as their application. And the last objective is to know how the sensor work in real to improve the understanding about sensor application. Next, I will pass to Muhammad Faiz.
Thank you to Adi bin Sobri. So I will continue our next slide. So this is about our research scope, which is about our optical sensor. So the first one, optical mice use image sensor to image naturally occurring texture in material such as wood, clothes, mouse pad, and furniture. Next, the first two optical mice exhibited in December 1980 by two distinct inventors had different basic design. The third is one of these developed by MIT Steve Krish and Mouse System Corporation. The other vision designed by Serok Richard F. Leon. And then the last one is optical mice capture 1000 successive image or more per second. So we can see on the right side is about our optical sensor, which is an early Serok optical mouse chip. So we move to the next slide. Introduction to sensor application. An image sensor or imager is a sensor that detects and conveys information used to make an image. It does so by converting the variable attenuation of light wave as they pass through or reflection of object into signal and then small bursts of current that convey the information. So the sensor uh, detect and convey information used to make an image and then converting the attenuation from the light wave into a signal or waveform. Next, we go to the next slide. So this is our online survey tool. The first point, our online survey tool are software solution that provide the ability to create, run, and interpret various type of survey, either on the user on website, on email, or on post web page. So point number 2 is about there are many survey tool available online such as Go Survey, SurveyMonkey, Typeform, Google Form, Client, Herbate, Zoho, Survey Gizmo, and Survey Planet. So the point number 2 is there are type of the survey that have on Google or student or lecturer can make survey. Next, we go to the next slide. So the point number 3. Point number 3 is about, in this case study, Google Form has been used as survey online tool. It is a free online tool that allow us to collect information easily and efficiently. Next, point number 4. The interface also is very easy to use. Any user with an average internet knowledge can create form using this tool. Google Form are also store the feedback received so we can analyze it in detail. So what we want to say in point number 4 is that Google Form is easy to use and we can also get feedback from the and from the student or lecturer that we can analyze after the end of the survey. So next I will pass to Sayyidatul Hamzah, which is our partner in field study. So Sayyidatul Hamzah, you can continue our slide.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad Faiz. Okay. And now I want to show about the Google Form. So the first about the introduction in the Google Form. So is the optical sensor. So we are students from Mara Japan Institute are doing a field study on a sensor known as optical sensor. We have made some question about the sensor to get data from the local community about the sensor. So next about the topics question. So the topic question is first question is have you ever heard about the optical sensor? Next, do you know the function of the optical sensor? And the last is do you know the where the optical sensor been used? Okay. Next, okay. Next about the dictomos question. Okay, so the question is do you think the optical sensor is useful in our daily life? Next, call the optical sensor prove helpful in the future. And the last is, do you think the optical sensor is a big help for a certain industry? Okay, so this is question. Okay, and now about the finding. So this is a answer. This is an answer survey. So the first, okay, so the first question is, have you ever heard about the optical sensor? So the mostly is people. The answer is yes. About the 84% is yes and the 16% is no. So the next, do you know the function of the optical sensor? The overall is 86% is yes and the 14% is no. Okay. Next, the question number 3 is do you know where the optical sensor been used? So the mostly people answer is optical mind. So in the 76% and the smartphone is 44% and the icon is 22% and the last is headphone in 18%. Next is question number 4. This the question number 4 is what is the function of optical sensor. So the mostly answer is a 70% is the to detect movement relative to a surface. So in the 12% is to detect heat, 10% to measure current and the 8% is the to measure distance. Next, okay, the next question is do you know where we can get the optical sensor? So the mostly answer is Lazada in the 71.4%. And the second is electronic shop in the 67.3%. Next, number third is a Shopee in 59.2%, and the last hardware shop in the 10.2%. Next, question number 6. How much do you think range of price for optical sensor? So you look the 50% is about the 2 ringgit to 20 ringgit, and the 30% about the 20 ringgit to 40 ringgit, and the last 20% is about the 40 ringgit to 60 ringgit. Next, question number 7 is how optical sensor work. So mostly the answer is 44.9%. Okay, so the answer is an optical sensor convert light ray into electronic signal. It measure the physical quantity of light and then translate it into a form that is reliable. Okay, so the in 36.7%, the answer is uses a transducer to send a receive ultrasonic pulse that relay back information about the object's proximity. So the last is the 18.4% about the how infrared sensor work, and infrared sensor works in the following sequence. IR source is used to emit radiation of required wavelength. Okay. Next, question number 8 is, do you think the optical sensor is useful in our daily life? So the mostly the people answer is 72% is yes, in the 60% is no, and the 12% is maybe. Okay, in the second last question about the could this optical sensor prove helpful in the future? So mostly the people answer is yes in 94%, and the 6% is no. Okay. And the last question is, do you think the optical sensor is a big help for certain industry? The the answer is yes in the 74%, and in the 40% is a maybe, and the last 12% is a no. Okay, next I pass my friends Muhammad Fidaus to present about the research case study.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you to Hamzah. So for our case study, we using a company for Tanjung Perak. It's called Hashtag. Hashtag is computer computer shop that selling computer, keyboard and the mouse. So for our field study is we using optic sensor. Usually optic sensor on the mouse. So that's why we decide to use Aztec computer. This is the logo of the company. Next. So for the company background, okay. First of all, the hashtag on the Manjung Perak, nombor 40 tingkat bawah pusat bandar 32040 Sri Manjung Perak. That is actually the first shop. Actually, last month they decide to open the second shop on Iskandar Perak. So they got two shop, but for our case study we decide on the Sri Manjung Perak since it's near to my location. Okay. The company history actually the Hashtag company opened on 2017. The business line included especially in customized gaming PC, workstation, computer component, from the office PC to high-end PC, and also accessories such as keyboard and the mouse. Next. So the application that contain optical sensor, the company show the product that contain the optic sensor on similar that used on computer mouse. Okay, a mouse optic sensor have a similar in form of light source that illuminate the surface while viewing it camera to capture the image rapidly. This image then sent to your computer processor and translate into the mouse movement. The mouse movement actually we call also a cursor, a mouse cursor. For example, when we move the mouse to up, and the cursor mouse also move to the up. Next. Okay, the sensor for the point one is sensor that detect convert information used to make an image by converting the variable into of light wave as they pass through the reflection object into the signal, small bursts of current to convert the information. On the point two, we got other brand is called Logitech brand. The Logitech iFit Optimus use surface red LED to project light into the tracking spot. Mostly, actually, all the masks using red LED for the tracking surface. Next. On the point three, the optic mask use a tiny camera that take 1,500 picture every second. Yes, that's true. On the point four is color image are formed using OCS, panel filter sensor, the loss count as more common using color filter array that pass red, green and blue light to select the pixel sensor. Next. On the point five, CMOS sensor is electronic chip that convert photo to electron for image processing. CMOS sensor are used to create image in digital camera, digital video camera, and digital CCTV camera. On the point six, optic mask is generally more accurate and such mask tended to be most cost efficient because optimized using sensor. But back then, the mouse still using what we call is the old-fashioned mouse is using a ball for the sensor. Next. Okay. Next, we pass to Adi to continue the conclusion.
Thank you, Firdaus. So the conclusion that we get from our field study is there are many types of optical sensor. The most common type is conductive device that used to measure the resistance by converting a chain of incident light into a chain of resistance. The photovoltaic cell solar atau or solar cell convert an amount of incident light into an output voltage, and photodiode convert an amount of incident light into an output current. Modern surface-independent optical mice work by using an optoelectronic sensor, essentially a tiny low-resolution video camera, to take successive images of the surface on which the mouse operates. Optical sensor can be used in various commercial and research applications such as quality and process control, medical technologies, metrology, imaging, and remote sensing. Next. Here our reference. Mostly we get from computer stuff howstuffwork.com, Wikipedia, and computer howstuffwork.com. Next. This is our appendix. From the left picture, it shows that where we get our research of optical mice, and the right picture is our meeting with person from the Haztex technology. Thank you for listening. Arigatou gozaimasu.